guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today is Coffee Date Thursday, and whoa, what is this? What are you? You're not my typical little mug of hot coffee. Well, it's summer, you guys. That's why. It's been in the 90s here this week, which in Indiana is hot. It's a heat wave. I'm surprised people aren't freaking out more about it, but we're loving it. We're thawing out finally. But today's video is part of the Coffee Date Thursday series. If you would like to see what the other ladies in the Coffee Date Thursday group are talking about today, I will leave their information below. Be sure to check out their videos, give them a thumbs up, and subscribe if you would like to see more from them. Same thing for me. If you like what you see today, be sure to give me a thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button so I know you want to see more. But today's video is a prompt about Father's Day. And while I talk about fathers, I'm going to be sipping my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. If you want to figure out how to get one of these for yourself, then I'm going to tell you. There's a coupon going around in the Midwest anyway, in the mail, and you can get this cup, this refillable cup, for free with the purchase of any drink. So last weekend I went to Dunkin' Donuts, my favorite coffee place, and got a 99-cent drink during happy hour, a medium iced coffee. That's what it is here in our region, and got a free cup. And what you could do is you can take this into Dunkin' Donuts between now and the end of September and get 99-cent refills. You can either get a medium iced coffee or extra large hot coffee for 99 cents, which is amazing. So I'm just gonna be sipping this. It's good. But today's prompt is Father's Day. Now, I have some amazing daddies in my life, and I want to give a shout out to all of them. First of all comes my daddy. His name is Lee, and he is an awesome, awesome guy. I don't know if he'll ever even see this video. If he does, great. If he doesn't, that's fine too, whatever. But yeah, my dad is amazing. I want to just kind of talk about some memories that I have with him and some things that stand out. I was the oldest of three girls. Well, I am the oldest of three girls, and there's just something about daddies and daughters. It's just different than mommies and daughters. Obviously, there's going to be that different dynamic. They're different genders. You know, there's just going to be something that's a little bit different. And like a lot of dads, my dad was super fun. We have very, very similar sense of humor. He is kind of the king of the dad joke. There are some jokes that he tells that I don't even hear it anymore because I just grown up hearing the same kind of jokes, plays on words, puns, that type of thing. And it's funny because when we're visiting them or they're visiting us and my dad will tell that joke, Mike's all laughing at everything. And I'm like, oh yeah, he hasn't heard that before, or he hasn't heard it 1,000 times like I have. And it's just kind of funny to see those jokes kind of relived, I guess, through somebody else and seeing someone else enjoy them. But he was a super strict dad. He was pretty protective, which he should be. And on the other hand, I say it like he's not here. He is super fun. And a couple memories that I have, specific memories I have with my dad. When I was little, like I said, I was the oldest of three, and we would go to theme parks, especially Six Flags Astro World, which was in Houston. They demolished it about 10 years ago. It's super sad, but that was where I fell in love with roller coasters. As cautious as I am, I don't ever recall having a big fear of roller coasters. Fears of other things, sure. Even water slides, I'm not so much into those, but roller coasters, like, get me on the biggest, tallest, fastest one, I'm down for it. I remember seeing people, kids, adults, getting off of roller coasters and they looked just fine. I'm like, well, they got through it. They're wearing a big old seatbelt. They're fine. I'm gonna get on there too. And so when I was like as young as like 6 and 7, as soon as I was tall enough to get on a roller coaster, I was on there with my dad, and that was just kind of something that stands out as something that was really cool that just the two of us would enjoy together. And maybe it's just my interpretation as a kid, but I think he really enjoyed it too. There's one story though. When I was 6 years old, we had just moved back from Ohio to Houston, and we went to Astro one day, and I was probably almost 7. And we went on a brand new roller coaster called the Texas Cyclone, and it's an all wood roller coaster. And if you're not familiar with wood roller coasters, they're very bumpy. They're not the smooth metal ones. They're extremely rocky. And so we got on there, and I was not tall enough. So Dad said, why don't you just stand up on your tiptoes? So we got to the front of the line after waiting for, I don't know how long, a couple of hours in line. And he said, just stand on your tiptoes. So I stood on my tiptoes, and they let me on. And that was when we realized why there is a height requirement to get on a roller coaster. I sat on that roller coaster, and you know the bar that's supposed to be over your lap? Well, it was kind of up here in this region on me since I was small. And yeah, so that's why they have height requirements, that and other reasons, I'm sure. So we're on the roller coaster, and it starts moving, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. And then it gets even more rocky and more rocky and more rocky. Now there was a foam thing on top of that protective bar. And instead of it, me holding on to it like this, rocking and rolling on that roller coaster, my little head was pounding into it over and over and over. This was at night. I recall my dad next to me with his hands up and going, woo! And I'm on there going, ah! We get off the roller coaster. He looks over at me, and I wish he were here to tell this story next to me because I'd love to get his perspective. But we get off the roller coaster. I got blood all over around my mouth. And what had happened was one of my front teeth, I don't even remember if it was loose or not, but it was a baby tooth. One of my baby teeth came out on the roller coaster. So I got blood all over my mouth. And I've heard the story that people were looking at me like, oh, this little kid just got off the roller coaster. They got blood all over their mouth. Like, yeah. So my dad's carrying me. I remember he's holding me like this over his shoulder, and he's carrying me off the ride. I'm crying. And then we went on the carousel, and I think the big Space Needle thing that went up, the calm things for the rest of the day. And I kind of wonder what my mom thought, if she was just like, what happened to my baby? I have no idea. She's not here to find out. But yeah, so I remember that we believed in the Tooth Fairy, I assume. I don't know if I actually did, but we wrote a letter to the Tooth Fairy saying, I'm sorry, we do not have the tooth. It is somewhere at Astroworld. It came out. And so we put that letter under my pillow, and I still got paid, I don't know, quarter from the Tooth Fairy. So that's just kind of a fun memory, I guess. I guess it's one of those memories that's fun now. So there is that daddy. The second daddy in my life is my husband, Mike. And seriously, I could do, about all these men, I could do an entire video dedicated to them. But yeah, he came into fatherhood at almost 40. And, you never really know what any new stage of life brings. Whereas I was entering motherhood at about 30. I was 30 when Caleb was born. And again, you never know what each stage of life is going to bring, but he has handled it like a champ. He works super hard all day long for us, and I know I don't appreciate him as much as I should, but yeah, he has so much fun with those boys. The things that wear me out, exhaust me to the point of no return, he handles like a champ. He doesn't complain, he just does it. And, well, maybe he complains a little bit because he's tired. Aren't we all at some time? But he is just an amazing daddy. He knows what those boys are going to enjoy. He has fun with them. He takes them places that maybe I'm too tired to go to, or so over it and ready to have some alone time. He knows when I need a deep breath. He knows when I've had enough, and he kind of rescues me out of that. So, honey, if you ever see this, thank you. And now the third man that I want to talk about is my father-in-law. When I first started dating Mike, I had been in Indianapolis for maybe 6 months. So I was new to town. I didn't really know what was going on. But he and his wife, my mother-in-law, completely welcomed me into their family with open arms, treated me like I was one of theirs from day one. And I will never forget that. And last summer, I don't know if I mentioned this in vlogs or anything last summer, but last spring, he was in a really, really bad car accident, broke his pelvis, and he and my mother-in-law actually, after he was through with his initial hospitalization and like rehab and stuff like that after his accident, they came to live with us. Now, that could have been a horrible situation for some people. However, when they lived with us, those were some of the most fun months that I can recall, especially, with the kids. And we got to be, a lot, we were already close because we see them all the time. They live in town. But I feel like we got even more close during that time. They lived right here in our guest room. And it was really fun seeing the boys get to be with Grandma and Grandpa even more. And Caleb is kind of attached to Grandma, whereas Braden is attached to Grandpa. Grandma walks in the door and Braden's like, Grandma! And then he looks out kind of behind her like, where's Grandpa? Is he coming? And so it's been so much fun to watch him with our boys. Men aren't, generally as just naturally affectionate as women are. And so it's fun to see, the different men in my life, their different personalities bond with my kids. And it's one thing, your relationship with me is great, but I'm almost like more concerned with people's relationship with my kids. Like, you better be good to my kid. And Grandpa became the baby whisperer, I guess you could say, last spring and summer when they lived with us. They lived with us for like 3 months, I think. And there were times when Braden would not sleep. Like, he would not sleep. I would bring him down here to Grandpa and give him like 20 minutes, and that kid was out. They love to snuggle. They love to read books and all of that. So I don't call you Dennis. I call you Dad because, you guys are parents to me. I don't have my parents here with me all the time. So it's so wonderful to have such a close family, such an awesome family that's accepting of me, who's somewhat of an outsider, and 8 years younger than your son. It's just amazing to have such a wonderful family and to have them so close. So all this to say, thank you so much to Dad, and Mike for being here for me, for our family. There is nothing that replaces a dad. There's absolutely nothing. And I want to wish all of you, if there's any dads or men watching, if you're a father, happy Father's Day. I hope you get treated like a king. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you get some good food, some good rest, and all that you deserve on that day. And I also want to send a shout out to my single mom girls, especially those of you who don't have a man in the picture with you. You are mom and dad, and again, there is no replacing you. You have an incredible job that you're doing. You are doing the work of two parents, and I can't even imagine what it would be like to have that weight on your shoulders. And so I just want to encourage you, girls, to just keep going, keep doing what you do so awesome every single day. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you would lift your glass of whatever you've got going today, whether it's coffee, tea, water, Diet Coke, sparkling water, wine, whatever you've got going, take a sip with me. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to see more videos. I have a couple of really fun ones coming up, so stay tuned. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.